Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. Today, there are historic things happening at the Capitol and around the world. Definitely want to keep you guys abreast of all of that. There's, well, I'll show you in just a minute when my buddy Sean joins me. So give us a like, share the video, and I'll be right back right after this. Welcome back and Happy New Year. Sean, how are you? You look beautiful today.
Thank you. I have my new hat on. It says I'm the pretty one. Also, the E in the is coming off real bad. How do you put it on?
Oh, no.
Do you have
So
to
that
iron
was
on
my
it?
first time to do a hat
Mhm.
with, that was my Christmas gift, was to get one of those Cricut machines. And it was my first time to do a hat, and I didn't realize how hard it was going to be because it's curved, you know?
Well, it's
So
got
yeah,
cardboard in it, so it's pretty hard.
you you iron it, but I don't know if you can put the iron directly on that material, because usually I have like this,
I can put like a piece of paper or something on it. I don't know if
like
I have an iron
maybe.
though, because I am a
Sure,
man
you have
who
an
raised 4
iron.
boys, and we had an iron, but I think we threw it away to make room for toilet paper in that cabinet. I
You
know we had
really
an
don't think you
iron
have an
board,
iron?
but everyone kids played on it and broke it. Um, I don't know. I might have an
Well,
iron.
it
If
was
not,
the
like
thought
what?
that
How much
counts.
are they? $50 or
So
$10 or 3? I don't know.
I wouldn't think. I would think you could. I don't know. I haven't bought one in a long time, but I have 2. I
Yeah.
should send
My
you
mom
one.
had to. They're important to some
Yeah,
people at one time. Now you just, you can just throw your clothes in the dryer with like a wet
that's
washcloth, and
true. Yeah,
they're all
it's
good.
much easier. It's much
If you had
easier.
to go to church or like a wedding or that, just throw them in there, and everything's made now to where the wrinkles come out. But yeah,
Mostly.
everyone had an iron back in the day.
Mostly. So I think the big news today is the vote for Speaker of the House, of course.
Yeah.
I was trying to follow it live, kind of catching up. Last I saw, they're on the 3rd round. So they keep nominating, well, they keep voting for Jim Jordan, or nominating Jim Jordan, and he keeps nominating McCarthy because he wants to be the head of the Judicial Committee to be able to do all the hearings and
Yeah,
everything.
I heard
And
Cruz
so
Cruz
he's
wants to
lost.
be on the Supreme Court. He mentioned it and just said
Oh,
it
he would be
before.
excellent.
He
Yeah.
he back when Donald Trump won, when he
Hmm.
bowed out, he started like putting it out there
Hmm.
just a little bit, and but I know that's what he wants. That's what he wants more than anything.
Is that Durham? No, that's not Durham. I thought that was Durham in the bottom right.
I think everything's gonna go the way everyone thinks it is. It just like you said, if it's all a movie, it's not real. It's all theater.
It just needs to take some time to flesh out. I don't know. I would love to see just shock the world. And they're getting ready to vote again. Everybody sit down, be good little slaves, and sit in your spot.
Everyone take your
The total
marks.
number of votes cast is 434, of which the Honorable Hakeem Jeffries of the state of New York has received 212. The Honorable Kevin McCarthy of the state of California has received 202. The Honorable Jim Jordan of the state of Ohio has received 20.
Every time.
No person having received the majority of the whole number of votes cast by surname, a speaker has not been elected. For what purpose does the gentleman from Oklahoma rise?
Move to adjourn until noon tomorrow.
That's
The
in
question is on the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The House
who's the no
stands
guy?
adjourned until noon
Who's
tomorrow.
that no guy? They're like, we want to go home. It's
No.
4:30. No.
I hate my wife.
Don't make me
That would have
go
been hilarious.
home. So that's 4 votes, and every time McCarthy or Jim Jordan getting 20. So there's a pretty core group standing strong.
232. If you got those.
Yeah,
votes.
yeah. If they would swing it, then somebody would get the majority. So I really thought there would be a big bang today. So that's not the big bang that I was hoping for. I thought this was interesting, though. This gives me a little more insight. I'm like, why? What is Jim Jordan doing? You know, he's such a great guy. Why does he keep pushing? But it's because he wanted to. He wants to be chair of the judiciary, which, you know, he's excellent attorney. I mean, has a brilliant mind. He really dives in, gets to the meat of the truth. So when this does go through, it'll be great. But this is historic. They said that this vote has not gone past the second round in over like 100 years or something. So we're in historic times, which I think we all knew.
I think it's a message that's being sent to McCarthy.
Mm.
You know,
Sure. I heard he moved into to Pelosi's office already. I don't
Really?
know if that's true or not, but I heard that.
Did you see that Tucker Carlson where they made fun of her? Like, it was weird. People thought it was
As they
funny.
should.
I think it was weird.
Creepy.
No, like just like weird. He said, "Oh, it was really there was a historic moment. Michael Jackson's alive," and then he's like, "Michael Jackson's alive. Was in Congress. It's the craziest thing. You thought he was dead for 12 years."
Is this recent?
Yeah, and then he pulled a Pelosi. That was her last day, and he was just saying, "Look, it's Michael Jackson. It's obvious. It's a lot of work done." And it was not like a laugh. It was like, "Oh, it's."
So you know, on Woo Woo Wednesday, we've talked about that could be Michael Jackson playing her, like with a mask or 3D or CGI or whatever. Where's the?
It was. Just
I was wanting to show they were moving Pelosi out, and there was a video. This was cool. I love this.
I arrived in Congress 2 years ago. Nancy Pelosi put this hunk of garbage outside of the House chambers for members of Congress to go through. Today, they are being removed, and we are turning Pelosi's house back into the people's house.
See, I think that's a good sign. Removing those zappers that make you sick.
That's weird. Hey,
Mhm.
remember that story about the Canadian Veterans Affairs I talked about last week?
Canadian Veteran Affairs. No, you have to jog my memory.
Well, I told you the Canadians are a piece of shit, and English people are a piece of shit, Americans are a piece of shit.
You said everyone's a
We
piece
allow
of
our governments to do this.
Last week you were in a very bad mood.
But yeah, I said Canadians have to take responsibility for what you're doing. It's your veterans.
Oh, okay.
Our veterans are on the street. Same for us. We're a piece of shit. But if people are complaining because they call the Veterans Affairs Bureau, and the people on the
this was where they were
trying
telling them
to get them to commit suicide.
Yeah.
They have assisted suicide's legal, and the Veterans Affairs is like, it's way cheaper to just not try to help you when you've done stuff for your country. Which also, when we say people are fighting for our freedoms, we got to stop saying that. It's a lie. We're lying to ourselves. We're lying to our country. We're lying to each other. No one's been fighting for your freedoms over there for since my lifetime, since Vietnam. No one's fighting. And if you want to argue, we could say since the fall of the Soviet Union. No one's threatening your freedoms except for the people here.
Well, you could argue that that none of us are free. That
Yeah,
we're,
but saying
those actions aren't
sending
freeing
your
us.
kids over there and your friends and no,
Right,
no
aren't
one's
freeing
fighting
us.
for your freedoms.
Sending
They're
your
fighting for
kids,
corporations.
yeah,
They're
yes,
fighting for
to put money in Pelosi's pocket and her friends
and
and all
we
that.
got to stop saying that.
So, are you wanting me to play this video?
Yeah, turn it up. It's because he made a commercial.
Justin Trudeau, proud Canadians, thank you for your service to our country. But now it's our turn.
You know what? I may not be able to play this. I'll let you play it on your channel on the second half because I got dinged yesterday, and I have now I don't have a strike. I have a warning.
Okay.
Because of playing video yesterday. They said I have a copyright claim and they gave me a community guideline
Well,
warning.
this isn't like a real. He made this commercial up. It's angry cop. He would not do that. Plus,
well, it's just this was Wano Savin and Jennifer Mack. Like I don't think they did it either.
Okay, yeah, I know.
But it's my video telling people to write a letter to SCOTUS and have your voice be heard.
Play it on mine. When you
so
have to
we'll
play
it on yours.
You have to play it, but yeah, you play it on mine.
It's
pretty.
I believe you. That's insane, though. But back to what we were talking about, the whole gun thing. Because
we're talking about that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they removed these, I think that's a positive thing. Your girl that you crush on so hard. I don't know if you are aware of this,
Pelosi?
but she's you're Tulsi Gabbard. This says she supports abortion, socialism, taking your guns.
Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, she does.
Do you know that?
No, I don't think she does that. I don't think she does.
You don't believe that?
No, I don't believe that.
Okay. So this is based on her voting record, supposedly.
She's very pro 2A, but she is, common sense, like background checks and things like that. I mean, she's not. There are. How do I put this? She's from Hawaii. If you're from Hawaii, and it's bad to make generalizations, but Hawaii is super, super ultra liberal, which is weird because it is the most horrific story of a state that there is. I mean, it was just Hawaii is like an embarrassment to America. Hawaii is our India, like for England. We did terrible things to those people. We stole that country. It was a country. We took it.
That's what we've done to all the indigenous people.
I mean, there's arguments for.
There are arguments that that's what happens when
we made concessions with the Indians, but we just said we want that. There's all these other countries are making a stand in the Pacific. We're going to be a big player on the world stage. America's a real country, and we took that place over, man. Anyway, it's super, super liberal. So for her to be like raised in that and be there, like she's ultra conservative there. You know what I mean?
Yes. In Congress, she co-sponsored a bill that would ban assault weapons and require background checks for all gun purchases, including closing what is known as the gun show loophole. So
there is, and people argue the gun show loophole. It is real, but it's not used. Okay.
What is the gun show loophole, to explain for everybody? Because I don't know.
So,
that's the first time I'm hearing that term. I thought this was the gun show.
I went to tons of gun shows, tons.
Okay.
And I bought lots and lots of guns at gun shows. I've only used the gun show loophole once, and I was totally confused. If I bought you a gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I can buy that gun and then just give it to you. But I don't even know. and I don't want to call a lawyer and ask. So I paid $25 transfer fee and paid $30 to have it shipped to me. And then I'm going to pay $30, maybe another transfer fee to you. And then you have to fill out your form when you get it, for your background thing, and then pay a $25 transfer fee to pick it up. All of that is, bullshit and just money and taxation. But
Middlemen.
I know that makes it legal. But I also bought, a shotgun for Ted. Just, he's your immediate family. I just gave it to him for Christmas. And I gave one to, my Asian son, Sebastian. So let's say I have a bunch of guns. Let's say my friend comes over and he's like, "Oh man, I really like that gun." I could say, "Here, man, here's a gun. I'm giving it to you. It's a present." As long as the ATF doesn't say it was a straw man purchase, like you bought it and then gave it right to this person. So it's like a gray area, but legally, you can sell your gun to whoever you want to. I've bought guns from people who are like, "Hey man, you owe me some money. Hey, here, can you take this gun as payment?" Yeah.
But then you're supposed to go down and register it at somewhere?
No, you don't have to register anything.
No. Okay.
Right. And then but
enough time passed between the time you bought
that's
it.
The thing,
You
there's like a
aren't
gray
supposed
area.
to buy it
That's
for
a gray area.
someone.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
That I would have to check on.
I see.
But if it's okay, so they would have to prove that you bought the gun for someone else, and it was like a conspiracy. Like they said, "Hey man, I can't buy a gun because I'm a felon or I'm domestic abuse. Will you buy this gun for me?" That's illegal. But if I just buy a gun, I'm like, "Oh, this looks so much better in the picture. Here, you can have it, or here, I'll sell it to you." That's legal, but they could still arrest you and make you go to court, and it would be a pain in the butt, So the gun show loophole is that when you go to a gun show, there's an individual who has a booth. He's like, "Here, these are my guns. Do you want to buy one?" It's like, "Yeah, I like this one. How much is this? $200. Here's $200. Thanks." That's it. You got the gun. Okay. Whereas most 99% or more, it's like some gun shows I went to, there's no individuals. Most even. They're all firearms dealers they have an FFL. So they're required, because they're licensed, you have to fill the form out. So the gun show loophole is just a regular guy who is wanting to sell his guns, has to go to a gun show, pay to have the booth, pay all the fees to be part of it, and then sell his guns. So it doesn't really happen on a gun show level. A flea market level is more, but if you call it the flea market loophole, it doesn't sound as impactful to the left or people that don't know anything.
Right.
They're like, "I use flea markets. I don't go to gun shows. That's scary and dangerous." But they're like, "I go to flea markets all the time." Well, what do you mean, the flea market loophole? That's what it is. Now, one time it happened, there was a guy, he had a little table of guns. I was like, yeah, that's cool. It was a good price. I gave him the money, and he handed me the gun. And I was like, I got to fill the form out. He goes, "Oh, no, I'm just a guy. You're just a guy. You bought a gun from me. I gave it to you. It's America." And I was like, no, I have to fill the form out. You're going to get into, and he's like, "No, I'm not a dealer. I'm just a guy." He had to explain it to me. This is years and years ago. And I was like, "Well, I need a receipt, sir, at least." And he's like, "All right, I'll write you a receipt for it." But I had to ask for a freaking receipt. That to prove, I was like, I'm not going to walk out.
To prove it's not stolen or something like that.
If break, man.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Some guy could have just asked you to watch this table while you went.
Or who knows what he just did with that gun. Then they come to you and say, "Hey, you have this gun that something was done with," which I don't know how that would even happen.
That's the gun show loophole. Okay. But it doesn't happen. It's like talking about banning automatic weapons. Poor people can't have them. Poor people can't have automatic weapons, and that's the main thing. They want to make it so that poor people can't arm themselves and defend themselves. People think automatic weapons are illegal. They're not. Silencers aren't illegal. There's just a very expensive fee you got to pay to buy one. Like before you buy an automatic or a machine gun, you're looking at like hundreds or $1,000+ worth of just fees for tax stamps. So
It's the same thing they do trying to, push out the little guy from being a part of capital markets. It's all this two different, like you were talking about this, over a year ago, like how it's maybe you didn't even use the word starting, but that America has become like a caste system of us and them. And there's, we see it over and over, rules for the,
everything is that way now. And I didn't think it was until we talked about a couple weeks ago, or is it Idaho, where someone passed that law where it's legal for you to kill a cop if they're illegally coming in your house.
That's insane.
And I told my son, I was like, why? I was more offended that they passed the law, because to me, my conspiracy is like, oh, they're trying to make a law about something that's already legal. And Ted was like, no, in most states, they're protected from that. I was like, what?
But they're... I think he may be right, because there was one of the shows I watched, and for a while there, I had the document. I'm sure it's on my Patreon, and I'll have to go back and find it again and repost it. But there was a document where somebody was helping you, like when the Great Infection was first kicking off and people were afraid of people like coming to their house. They were sending around this do not trespass document and circulating that. And they were telling you how to legally remove someone from your property.
Yeah, property is different than
or lawfully remove
property
somebody
has
from
always been different than home. If somebody
from your home,
you're not gonna shoot them. But if somebody comes in your house, like you can shoot them. And then I guess they passed those castle laws where, I mean, they use the word freaking castle. How can you not see that we're back in that system, or that we left, we ran away from? So the soldiers now are protected. In the caste system, you can't go punch someone in the face. But if you're a soldier, you're not royalty, you're not them, but you can beat the crap out of people. So you rape someone. Yeah, but if it's under certain circumstances, it's fine. It's acceptable.
It's the King's Day or whatever those
so there
laws.
is a caste system for the law, and it's before in the United States was everyone is the same. One of the most shocking things that I've heard in recent time was that Martini guy, who I'm friends with. I think he's a smart guy. And then he was talking about that Martini guy is a crypto YouTuber. This is when he was like really huge too. We were talking about the election. It was when Trump was elected, and he was talking about the crazy American system. And he was like, everyone's vote is the same. How insane is that? And he was talking about like it was
I remember you talking about that.
And I was like, because he's an intelligent person. And then to hear him say that to me, but that's a way of thinking that certain people, they're better, they're more important. And we do that. We've done that here where we can confuse education that was the beginning of it, I think, confusing education for knowledge. Where
I want to get your feedback on one more thing before we jump over to your channel, because this really made me think. I wasn't aware of some of the relationships, because some of us have been in crypto for a while, and so we met some of these people that are now a big deal and whatever. And it makes me wonder what's going on in the background, because you meet somebody, but it doesn't mean you really know them. And how well do you know them, and could they be involved in either covering something up, and I don't want to make any accusations, but this seemed like a very strange comment. And when you know that behind the scenes, there are like some of these big YouTubers have like, and they're open about it, like, pay me this much and I'll push your thing or whatever. Or like when like I'm not a big YouTuber by any means, but like because I use New Eden myself, if you guys use my link, then I get a kickback from you using New Eden. But this is on, these other big ones have like on a whole nother scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
like 10, 20
can
grand.
let's see, are you able to see this? Am I sharing this?
Read.
Okay. So this is London Real, which is like a huge freaking show. And Ben Armstrong, aka BitBoy, is on here. And it sounds like he's making an excuse for SBF and talking about how Wendy O and SBF have been friends for a long time and trying to make it sound like, oh, he's just a dumb guy. And just listen to this real quick.
That the first time that you two were together in the same room in that courthouse?
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen him in person.
Would you have ever guessed that would have happened in a Bahamian courtroom as your first meeting, not at some conference or some investor dinner or something?
No, I would have never imagined. I mean, I go back to 2019. I cannot remember exactly what it was, but it was the first time that he really came across my feed. He was in a big argument with somebody over DeFi, and it was turned into a big thing. It was, I guess, in November of 2019. I was like, who is this guy? I really started looking into him. And then, I know Wendy considered him to be a friend at one point. I love Crypto Wendigo. I mean, we've been together creating content since the very beginning of when we started our accounts. And for a long time, she had like a pretty good relationship with him. And so, it's kind of thing where I've kind of watched at a distance. I have friends that have been close to him. But I had never spoken to him before. Now I did speak to him when I was in the Bahamas the first time a couple weeks ago. We did text back and forth. He told me what he liked on his pizza. Very bizarre. I don't know, did you ever see those screenshots of that conversation?
I saw that because you posted him because he had just unblocked you, right? And you guys were DMing. And
well, he unblocked me as a result of our text messages.
Right. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
And so one of the things that the most bizarre thing, he asked me if I was the CEO of FTX, in charge of everything global, all the assets, what would I do? And I was just like, what a bizarre question to ask a YouTuber. As the CEO of the second biggest crypto empire that exists, what would I do?
Yeah.
And it just goes to show the delusion of him.
Hey, it's Brian Rose.
Click on the
Does
link.
that seem odd to you?
Click on the link.
On the YouTube link?
Yeah. When is that from?
It was recent, I think. How do I tell when it's from?
Well, bring it up.
Doesn't have a date. Oh, share this instead.
Okay, scroll down. 14 hours ago. So that is new. When did London Real come back on YouTube?
I watch them all the time.
He was canceled. He was banned from everything.
I watch him all the time. He's had tons of David Icon.
He was talking about free speech and a lot of stuff, and they went after him. They hit him hard. He was knocked off everything. I
hope I don't get in trouble for playing that video now that I think about it. But I really wanted your feedback on that. Does that sound weird to you? Like, why have an opinion and why bring Wendy into it? And
well, I know BitBoy, and we've been, friends for a long time. He's a very.
I did an interview with him a long time ago, but I wouldn't say I know him. Like, I've met him.
He's a very good guy.
I've texted with him. He seems like a really nice guy.
And he's a very good guy. He's a little. I always thought he was a little. He has a big head, but he's a good guy. He's a nice guy. I think his motives are true. But I think that this is a forensic. It's
someone's asked him to.
It's talking
make
about
a public statement.
No, it's like talking about the past. Like if you're talking about someone who's dead, you're like, it's like, oh, it was good times, this and that. I think it's like a forensic thing. He's talking about things that led up to stuff, and it's history. It's like ancient history now, because it's like we're looking at it as something that's still ongoing, but that part of the story is kind of done. Also, it's crazy, and This is huge history. This is Madoff. This is like,
Mhm.
the stuff that everybody, even dumb people, know about. 2008 crash and Enron. They know these words, and he's like lived through it. Just being a YouTuber, just being a regular guy, and he's part of this historic event. It's got to be very kind of mess with you a little bit,
Surreal.
but very surreal. And I think he's like, when he talks about that stuff, it's literally like, ancient history, because look at where we're at in the story now.
I just thought it was weird that I didn't know if they were like trying to validate the narrative that SBF is just a dumb, which I do believe he's a puppet. I don't think he's some, technological genius from what the behavior that you see, or he's playing video games while they're interviewing him,
I think that does speak to
and
it. I mean,
those kind of
he
things,
literally asked him, "What would you do if you had all this?" It's like, wow, you are kind of an idiot,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah, like
good to
Phil
know.
said,
Good
a
to know.
useful idiot. Okay, let's jump over to my
All
channel.
right, we're gonna go over to Sean's channel. So meet us
I
over
love you.
there.
Press the like
Thanks
button.
to everybody in the chat: Phil, Stephen, Gloria, Tom, Jim Montgomery, Flava Flav. Who else is out here? I want to say hi really quick. Did we see anybody else? G Chin, and I think I got everybody. JB Rants at the very beginning. Mr. X. Blind Dave Crypto in the background there. I see you. And I think I got everybody. Jeff, Jason Moore, and we'll see you over on Sean's channel. Love to you guys all. Please give us a like, share the video, and see you over on Sean's.